Welcome to DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel, so let's get started. All right, welcome to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel, and today we have a super special guest, Kerry Little. Kerry, how are you?
I am great. How are you? I'm ready.
I'm good. I've seen you several times in Luke's Locker. You actually work for Luke's Locker, isn't that right?
I have been working. This is my 17th year. It's
It's
my
crazy.
retired job,
Yeah. Oh, what'd you do?
believe it or not.
Retire and then you went to Luke's?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I worked for the city of
No way.
Richardson. My degree is in Parks and Recreation. So
Well,
that's my love, is teaching people how to use their leisure time to the best of their advantage and to complement their life, their work life, their spiritual life, their marriage, and
hmm,
then their leisure time. I was a runner. I grew up as a swimmer. And then I started running when I moved down to Texas. I'm from Illinois. And then I started coaching for Luke's back in 1990. And then finally retired from the city after 31 years. I'm aging myself now.
that's
And
amazing. I
then the
love that.
next day I worked at the store. And then I figured out, oh my gosh, I work weekends and holidays. Uh-oh, whoopsie. What was I
I thought you
thinking?
retired. What's going on? You must love it so much. So let's back up because you mentioned that you started getting to running. So congratulations that you were retired and then working 17 years for a running store. So
Yes.
when you were running, like before you moved to Dallas, and how'd you get into it?
No, see, I'm old.
Me too.
I was a swimmer and then
Oh, that's
went
right.
to college. And when I was, I mean, I was right at the beginning of chapter 9. So it was before women were really
Hmm.
supported in athletics. It was gym class. So nobody really ran when I was growing up. And then I went to college, I just swam. And I remember my boyfriend at the time was a runner. We'd run around the gym. And I'm like, this is really nuts. Why would you just run around in a circle inside? I don't get it. But then I did my internship for the city of Richardson down here. I moved down to Texas and I met a couple of friends that were, hey, let's go run. It's really fun. You're outside, you meet people. And this is back in the early 80s. And so I just started running. And that's when running started getting really big here. And there were all kinds of little races and there was not many women running, so all of a sudden I was winning races, and it was like, "Oh my
Oh, wow.
gosh, this is fun." And
It's always
then
fun when you win.
you what?
I said it's always fun when you win.
Yeah, it's great. I started getting recognition, and I was always an endurance athlete. Yeah, at that time, there was mostly 10Ks, 15Ks,
Mhm.
half marathons, that, and so I just fell into that and found my niche, got better and better. I've done Boston, I've done yeah,
So, sorry,
all
let's
kinds
back
of
up.
races.
Let's back up a little bit because I think you sounds like you've done a lot of different things. When you started running, you started winning some 5Ks, 10Ks, things like that. Was your next step a half marathon or what got you interested in kind of the longer distances?
That's what I loved. I just liked to run.
Hmm.
And to me, it was so funny. My coach was Terry Jessup, was a well-known coach in this area. And he used to laugh at me. If we did a biopsy of your muscles, you would do a blip and then 24 hours, it would be another blip. So I was all slow twitch, all slow
Hmm.
twitch. So I would run a 6 minute pace for a 5K, for a 10K, for a 15K. But I couldn't go. I didn't have that power, that sprint. So I didn't like the shorter distances. I would be much better running longer and longer distances. I got rewarded for that. It was fun. And then I started doing triathlons because my background was swimming. Then ignorance is bliss. I just did Ironman.
Yeah.
Why not? We were That was back in the early 80s. And yeah, okay, let's go to Hawaii. All right, why not? And so I qualified to do that and
The
did
whole
that for a
the full
while.
Ironman? The full thing?
Yeah,
The whole thing?
Kona.
Did you
Yeah.
do
Uh-huh.
any like marathons or anything before the Ironman?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I started out doing marathons
Okay.
and then, yeah, then we did Ironman. Why not? It was there. Well, I was a swimmer. That's not hard. So then it would just bike and then it overtook my life a little bit, but it was
As it
fun. It was a
does.
fun time.
Did
It
you
was
what was your first marathon?
My
Do you
first
remember?
marathon was Dallas.
Okay.
It was the Dallas Marathon.
Wow. Tell me about it. What was it?
It was great. That was in 82. 2, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
I ran a 3:15, but I was
Dang.
not anywhere near the front because it was, I don't know if it was the women's championship or something. It was a big race for a lot of pros to come here. So I ran a 3:15, big deal. There's a lot of people ahead of me. I didn't really realize how good that was at the
That's
time.
like ridiculously impressive for
Yeah.
a first marathon,
Yeah, it was fun.
especially back then.
So I was just,
I mean,
okay, let's
wow.
go run. So I would run with a bunch of guys and yeah, they didn't keep up with me during the race. But yeah, and so then I did a couple more and I was fortunate enough. I always was qualifying for Boston back then. I only went once and then I started doing Ironmans.
Okay.
I kind
Now,
of took my left-hand turn there.
we'll talk about the Ironmans in a minute because I'm intrigued. I think that's pretty amazing. When you went to Boston, do you remember like your best? Yeah. Tell me about that. Like were you
Boston
excited
was
about
great.
it? Did you
Oh
know
yeah.
that it was
We
a
had a
big
little
thing or
core
what?
group. We had a
Okay.
core group from Dallas that went there and it was, I did a 3:07, I think. It was just overwhelming. It was just so cool because Boston is Boston,
Yeah.
and, you have to qualify for it. So I was always intrigued by races that you had to qualify. You just couldn't get in.
Yeah.
So it was the pinnacle. It was really amazing, but it was a very hard race to kill you in running.
Yeah. Especially a marathon.
I was amazed how beat up. I was much more beat up after any marathon than Ironmans because you just, that's all you do is you just slam it on the run.
Yeah.
For triathlons, you're switching from sport to sport so you can relax some of the other muscles that you've beaten up prior to that. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I
Boston
mean,
was
you're
great.
still doing
It was
what?
great.
I think that as I think about you running a 3:07 right now, I want to put it in perspective for me. I remember back in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, I didn't see a lot of, I didn't feel like in Dallas, anyways, there was a lot of people running under 3 hours. I'm not saying there wasn't any. There was some. There was,
You're right.
I'm sure, plenty, but it didn't feel like it was that many. It was like, I thought, wow, you're running. I'd see people running 3:01s, 3:05s, and 3:07, and thought, dang, that's really fast. It is still fast. It's not that it's not. Something has changed because I feel like everybody, I say everybody, a lot of people are hitting that under 3 hours and even 250s and 240s here in Dallas. And I
I
kind
think
of
it's the
wonder.
equipment's changed,
Yeah,
knowledge of what to eat, when to eat, all that. We didn't have goo
exactly.
before cars.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I
right.
mean, we didn't have any of that. And we didn't have a training program. We didn't really know how to train. We would just
Exactly.
draw out the miles. And fortunately, we had a master's swim group. So that was
Yeah.
nailed down. We had coaches. And it was funny. Jim Montgomery was the head coach then, and he would just laugh at us triathletes. He would just swim for an hour. It's just, you guys are
Hmm.
nuts. But yeah,
Well,
endurance was always my thing.
sorry, the biggest point though is you're running like 3:07s, and I don't even know your best yet, but you were in the 80s. Like you didn't have
Yeah.
the shoes.
There was a strong group back then. You
Yeah.
really think back, there's some really fast women runner too. I wasn't by any means solo out there. But man, my best was, I just broke 3 hours in Duluth in Grandma's. 2:59, but I'll take it.
When did
And
you do
then
that?
that was in 88, I think.
Okay.
88,
Wow.
89.
Well,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So that was that.
So that was your first and only, huh?
Yeah, for breaking three. Yeah. I just
Yeah.
could never. And it was, it's funny because I look back at it now because I wanted to qualify for the trials. And that at that time, the qualified time was 2:50.
Right.
And when I didn't make it, I felt like I failed on that one. Dang it. But I should have given myself a little pat on the back and just been happy with that. But
I think, I'm sure even then as runners, we put a lot of things on ourselves. Like we work a full-time job, maybe we have families and kids, I don't know, whatever. And we're not elite athletes in general, right? Even as
no,
fast as you were at 2:59 or whatever you ran, you're not an elite athlete. And nobody here in Dallas, besides two women that maybe three, four, maybe, or even close to elite or elite. And when I say elite, they're 2 hours and 2:30. They're not 2:20s or 2:25s either. The men are at best 2:28 at the moment. And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And I think that's fine. And that probably keeps us fit, focused, and we love it. At the same time, like, it's okay.
you know what? Yeah, this customer today, we were talking about, because he was older too. He was the same age I was. And he said, you know what, Carrie, manage your expectations. And I went, oh my God, of course, manage expectations. Don't get bummed out about it. Just
Yeah.
accept with grace what you can do, not what you can't do.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it's very linear. You're always changing. You always will grow and fall back and grow some more.
yeah. And I think that for me, like I'm 50 and I hit a PR in half marathon this year. I was downhill, had a little
All
help,
right.
but it was awesome. I'm celebrating them. That's my PR. Who cares? Right.
You got it. Nobody
So,
can take that away from you.
and nobody could take that away. And look, there's always going to be somebody faster. But
Exactly.
what you accomplished, and I know that there was a lot of really good runners in the 80s, especially in DFW. I've heard about them from others and things like that. And so it's where the boom started, right? Like I talked to, what's that dude's name in Salina now? He runs with Plano. But anyways, the boom started back then. He was over at TI and they had a team that they would do racing and stuff like that. So running
The
was
Tom
big in the
Marino?
80s. No, I see his face. What can I think of it? I don't feel bad.
How
Jim
old is he?
Dietz. Jim Dietz, 65.
Yeah.
He's 6. So he was telling me all about it. I had him on the podcast. So I want to go into after your marathons, you said you started doing all of the Ironmans and stuff like that. How'd you get into that? What was the,
Right. My ex was injured at the time. So he started doing triathlons. And I thought, what the heck? I can do this too. I might as well join him.
were you faster than he was in running? Were you
I'm sorry?
faster than he was? Were you
Oh,
faster
God.
than he was?
No, he
Oh,
was
okay.
running 30s. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, jeez.
Yeah. So then we just fell in with a group that did a bunch of triathlons. So that's what we morphed into. But running is it's the pure sport. I don't have to worry about getting a flat or
Mm,
getting in the pool or is it raining or lightning, or I just go out
cold.
and run. So that's what I've fallen back on forever.
Which Ironmans did you do? Like, how many have you done?
Kona.
Okay.
Only
Only Conan? Or you did? Oh, I thought you had to
4.
qualify for that. Okay.
Yep. But at that time, we only had to there were certain races, and the most was just a half.
Got it. Got it.
So
Did you have to place? Did you
you have
place?
to either
Okay.
win your age group or raw. I won overall one race, but then I
Dang.
just won my age groups in the other one.
And how'd it go?
Ironman, it was great. I loved Hawaii. I never wanted to do any other Ironman anywhere else. You're just really tired and you're just slamming it out on the bike. The bike was always my weak sport. And I would just look over and see the ocean and go, you know what? In a couple hours, I'm going to be on vacation. So this isn't so
Mm,
bad.
I
Just
love
put
that.
your mind there, the next mile, the next mile. Yeah, there's nothing like Hawaii. It's the pinnacle.
How did you think about nutrition and all of that kind of stuff during
Well,
stuff?
see, like I said, back then, especially during in Kona, they had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and defizz Coke. I mean, they didn't have goo.
Yeah.
They have Gatorade, of course, but you just had to figure out grandma's cookies. I loved grandma's cookies
Mm. Well, cookie, I
for
mean,
on
it's
the
all
bus.
sugar on purpose. Sugar, that's all you need. It's a good,
Yep,
basically.
that's right. I remember people experimenting with raw potatoes on the bike,
Mm.
just weird stuff. Because we didn't have goo.
Raw potatoes.
We didn't
I
have
don't
any.
think
Yeah.
I can eat mashed potatoes, but trying to chew on a raw
I
potato
guess.
would be
I
rough.
guess it was easier to carry. I don't know.
Yeah.
If we tried anything.
So you just kind of, would they have like little aid stations there or something?
Oh,
Or,
yeah. It's the same. You have an aid
okay.
station every 5 miles on the bike and every mile on a run.
Okay.
And they would have it set up I'm sure, just as they do now. You have water and Gatorade. And then you had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I can't remember what else they would have. Defizz Coke, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you knew what to pick up when. And of course, you could have your own stack there, your own prepared food, but you could have it placed. But those are for the elites, not for us
Yeah.
common people.
Exactly. I didn't ask, did you start running like at 20s or 30s? What was
Yeah,
the,
when I moved down here, I wasn't a runner until I moved down here. So when I was in my early 20s. Yeah.
okay. But just not in college. Did you swim in high school and college or anything like that? Or,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I swam. I didn't swim again, there wasn't any women's swim
Oh,
team.
that's
We
right.
were like
Yeah.
AAU at that time. But I came from a very competitive community in Illinois. And so I was always the bridesmaid. I was never anybody special. I was always chasing it. There's always somebody faster than me, which probably made me go faster, but
You know,
I wasn't rewarded.
I feel like you have a lot of ability. I think it's crazy that there's other women running under 3 sevens and under 3 hours and things like that, especially.
I didn't know any better.
Yep.
I just ran, and I ran with a fast bunch, so they kept me going.
So you did the Ironman and loved it. What was after that? Would you and how old were you when you or what was that age when you did that one?
I finished up when I late 20s, early 30s,
Okay.
and then I had kids, and my
Yeah.
body just went, "You know what? We've been there, done that. Let's just concentrate on raising the children and working," and so I gave up competition. It
Okay.
just wasn't fun for me anymore, and like you said, that wasn't my job.
Yeah.
And that kinda got me burned out with training so much
Yeah.
all the time. It was just, "I'm not getting paid for this." I went pro for a couple months, and I
Yeah.
thought, "No way. I'm not
That's way
doing
more.
this," because when you go pro, you're all alone out there. You're not with a big crowd of people, and I wasn't ever gonna achieve that level, so I wanted it to be fun. I didn't want it to be a job.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah, I had kids, and then my body just kinda gave up on me a little bit.
How many
So
kids
I
do
had
you
to
have?
bring those. I have 2 boys. They're 30s now, so
Yeah.
they're all
That's
grown.
awesome. Do they do any
Yeah.
running or anything?
They're both athletic. Running is not their passion. No, they play basketball and golf, and they just dip into being athletic.
Yeah. I just tell people like if you don't go run, it's fine. Just go do something. Be active.
Well, move. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what
Exactly.
that's people come into the store all the time, and you could just see, "I'm not a runner." That's one of the first things they state. "I'm not a runner." Okay.
Can you say,
It's
yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
Great. Welcome in.
Yeah, welcome in. We got some shoes just for you. So you quit running because you had kids. Did you ever get back into it or what was that like?
So then I wanted to be involved in the running community, and that's when I started coaching for Luke's. And then I just fell into that. Either I was running with them in the training program as a coach, or I eventually, Duncan and I would run the training program for all the stores. And so we would write the schedules and write the synopsis of what we were doing that day and or that week and why and all the terms and all that, all the disciplines for each one of their paces. So that took a lot of time, but I was still involved, but I was no longer running with them. I was just doing my own thing and then helping them. But I wasn't competing anymore. I mean, I would do turkey trot and
Yeah.
have stuff like that, but just for fun.
You're not looking to do
Okay.
PRs or anything like that.
No, I'm not chasing that dream anymore.
Yeah, I
Manage
mean,
my
well,
patient.
there could always be PRs for your age. That's how I'm
Yeah,
starting to see it. So I just PR for 50. I'm trying to hit my age group if possible. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think
I
I'm going to
know.
be
I
like a
know.
30-year-old or whatever anymore. And so even though I want to try, I'm going to be some 30-year-olds, but not.
Exactly. Just always I'm
My head
running
is
going,
there.
"What am I doing?"
Yeah. It's funny because there's these Latinos, Paco and Jose and JR and these guys that run in Dallas. And Jose's not my age, but like Paco and JR and some other guys. And we'll go to the Plano Pacers and do their little races that they do.
Mhm.
And, you know, since they're my age, I'm always getting third or fourth place in my age group. And I'm like, guys, just don't show up. It's not really cool. So I'm like, every
Share the
time I see them,
love,
I'm
share
like,
the love.
dang it. I'm fast, but I'm not fast enough to those guys. I run with them on Sundays and hang out because they'll run 10-minute miles and things. You know, they get up there and they're running 6-minute miles still at the age of 53, 52. But I'm like,
Where's this coming from? Yeah, dang it.
this is
That's what
fine.
started me on my running streak. So I just run every day. I don't.
What's your streak?
So in 2 weeks, it'll be 6 years every
Holy
day.
cow. Wow. How much do you run? What's the,
All you have to do is a mile, but
yeah.
I'm a little overachiever there. So right now I'm running 30 miles a week for some weird. I
That's
know,
funny.
right? Everybody laughs. Just like, what are you nuts?
I'm hitting 35 to 40 miles a week and I'm not hitting every day. I just take a couple of days off because, but
Yeah,
I
you
love
want
it.
to.
Yeah, I like taking days off. I've got Dallas half coming up and I took today off, which was an extra day. I'll go run tomorrow and the next day. I'm now tapering. I like the tapers. So
Well, exactly. See, but I'm not chasing any
yeah,
speed. If I was doing that, I would take days off and do tempos or fartlegs or, but now it's just more a meditation. I just get up in the morning,
a lot.
go out, figure out what I'm going to do or say or meet that day and what my obligations are or
Hmm.
I messed up yesterday or whatever. It is a meditation for me.
I think running's a great meditation. It is for me as well. Like times whenever I'm running, I'll start getting my most innovative thoughts going around.
Right.
Oh, I can go do this at work, or oh, I could do this thing on the podcast. I'm going to get these 4 people, and I'm going to go do this thing. Blah blah blah. And then I come back and I'm like, yeah, I'm too tired. Sometimes I'll do it,
When
but
you forget it. Yeah,
yeah, but it is. It's like it gets my juices flowing for the day. And if I don't run for a few days, I'm a little bit antsy, and
I
so
know.
that's why you got to watch. I don't want to get injured. Jeez, if I get injured, then what the hell am I going to do?
I know. We all struggle with that. I think all runners become walkers, which isn't a bad thing, but there's people
Yeah.
coming in all the time at the store saying, I can't run anymore. And you could just see their whole body just sags. And I'm like, well, you can still move. It's
Yeah.
great. Just walk fast. It's okay.
It's yeah, you're older now, and it's just life. That's how what life does. Something I want to ask you about is so my wife, she hit 40, she's 51 now, but when she hit 45, 46, her body started changing in a big way. And do you see that as a big thing for older women going through menopause and all of that kind of stuff? I assume it seems to be a big factor for her. She's hit 13 Bostons in a row. She now wants to do
Oh my
way
gosh.
more strength work, right? Rather than doing all this running. She's still running Boston, but only now one marathon a year. But now she's in the weight room. She's hardcore doing these things because she's like, as I get older, look, our body breaks down, Chris, and you need to do this too. But lifting weights and doing just way more of that kind of stuff. Just want to get your reaction to that.
Absolutely. It's an evolution. Everything changes. You get injured or you're tapping into your body more. You're more aware of what you can do and what you can't do or how far you can push because that's experience. She's
Yeah.
been running a long time. So she knows she's massaging what works or what doesn't work for her. And it's all individual. That's what's so cool about
Mhm.
this sport is there's no patent. Here's what you do. This is runner's world. Okay, this article. Okay, I need to do this and this. It doesn't work for everyone. So it's a journey and it's really cool to find out what your capabilities are and what works and what doesn't and tweak this and see that person and get that adjustment or and then share it. Just like shoes or nutrition or anything. That's why there's such a wide variety. That's my challenge when somebody comes from the store is I got to figure out what their needs are, what their wants are, what their goals are, and what injuries or what mechanical issues they've been going through and talk them through that so they're more self-aware so they can help themselves, not
Yeah.
have somebody tell them. And that's what's so neat about running is it's all self-knowledge and move on and figure it out.
The one thing I love about Luke's, you just spewed out a bunch of knowledge there. So I'm going to just say this is because I think it's so awesome is that I now can go into Luke's and talk to some people and they're pretty knowledgeable most of the time. Most people there have either been running for a while, but more specifically, I went in there one day and see Duncan knows a lot about me. We've just had conversations, not necessarily about shoes, but just about just different things. And he knows though that I don't like the plates or whatever, that my Achilles starts to hurt. So he knows that I don't use those. And he knows that for a long time I used the New Balance Revel 3 and 4 or whatever. So I came
Mhm.
in, it's funny because I was talking to this guy. He's fairly new. He's a really great runner, but Duncan comes by and he's kind of listening. He goes, why don't you give him the Asics? And I bet he's going to, the new, they're not new, they're not that new, but the new Asics that are very
Nova Blast?
no, no, the one that are really soft. There's 2 different types, but they're one's plated, one's not.
Oh,
And then
Sonic Blast and the Mega Blast?
no, no,
Mega
not the
Blast.
plate, not the plated ones. Just a sec. I'm gonna get them because
Okay.
I gotta tell you this. I gotta finish the story. This that is 80 zero. These right here, right? The so
Adidas. I'm sorry. I thought you said
Adidas.
Asics.
My bad.
Sorry.
Did I say something else? Adidas.
I thought you said Asics, but that's all right.
I did say Asics. My completely bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Adidas. The Adidas one. Anyways, he just handed those to me and I wore them. And now they're my favorite shoes because he knew the point was he knew exactly what I wanted and needed. He's been doing this for so long. It's kind of like
I
you.
know.
And all, no, it's not just him, but a lot of you same. So I love that about Luke's. So anyways, and you guys have a lot of it's been there forever. How would you not know about what's going on? You've seen a lot of
Yep.
change in the shoe market and the stuff we wear and things like
Oh, it's
you know.
changing way too fast too. And it's like splitting hairs now because there's what I just referenced in Asics is there's the Nova Blast and then there's the Super Blast. Now there's the Mega Blast and there's the Sonic Blast. And it's just, oh my gosh, how many, what is all this stuff? They're always trying to better themselves. And the technology is, and again, that I think that's why these times are just dropping incredibly, is the equipment is getting so much better. Training, knowledge, and all that is unbelievable. And the components that we can get and have the physical therapist and all that. But the equipment is crazy. It's just getting so much better for the common man.
Yeah, I think forever.
As long as you don't get hurt and overuse it, because some of those plates are very we went from barefoot, what was that? That was, what, 10 years ago or so, and then all of a sudden, boom, now we're in these super cushy plush shoes, and it takes a while to cycle through them, but you'll see what injuries will start cropping up,
Yeah.
and then that's how we all can gain knowledge. Okay, if you have a bad Achilles, then you probably shouldn't be going in this shoe, or
That's right.
forget what the TV says that, oh, we need a carbon plated shoe and to go fast. Okay, you're the machine, not this is a piece of equipment.
Yeah, and I love the carbon plate. I just my Achilles doesn't, and so
No,
it's like I'm not going to run in them. Once I stopped running in them, over time it stopped hurting. So that tells me,
for
you know.
there you
So I don't even touch them anymore. I want to, and I'm somewhat tempted, but I'm like, you know what? It's not really worth it because then I'm out for 3 months. But so they feel good. They do help. I'm not saying they don't because it's obvious that they do. But look, you can get some really nice light shoes and get out there. What are you most surprised about over the last 2 or 3 years when you kind of look at all the changes in technology and things? I don't know if it took you by surprise. I remember Nike came out with their carbon plate first ones to come out, and then everybody was doing it. At first, people thought it was cheating and stuff, and everybody just adopted and say, "Nah, it's good."
now everybody, yeah, everybody cheats. Just like
Yeah,
in triathlon when they started heats, when they started using wetsuits. As a swimmer, I thought that's cheating. Why are you wearing a wetsuit? Because that's going to give you an advantage to float. But then they started going, if the temperature of the water is this degree, then you can use it. Or drafting. That's a huge advantage. If you know
yeah,
how to draft water to somebody, you get away with it. So then they started allowing that too. So what's cheating? I don't know. It's fluid, but
exactly.
we can just justify anything as humans.
I mean, we do.
But if it makes you qualifying for something or making money off of it, okay, then let's draw the line. Let's figure it out. For people in their leisure sport, whatever makes them happy, whatever makes them more efficient, whatever floats their boat, why not? Why not share that with technology with us common folk?
Exactly.
And they
We
get,
all buy it.
yeah,
So
that's all market driven.
yeah,
Whatever, if you can afford a $300 pair of shoes, okay. That's another thing at
it's
triathlons. You can afford a really nice bike. Is that cheating or that it was always when I was doing elitist sport because it's expensive. Yeah. And even running has gotten expensive now too.
agree.
It, yeah. It's
The
great.
shoes went from you could probably get them for $110 one
Oh,
point.
yeah.
Now that they're like you can find them for $400. I'm like,
Yeah.
geez, I've seen myself spend 270 or 280. I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Yep. That's just
But it's
life. Yep.
ridiculous. That's how it's gone. It's just when there's money to be made and run for these running stores, obviously Luke's and others that are so I think it's good
So
though.
in a way, that's sad because it is segmenting a population. But back to your point, it is crazy how organic the running community has gotten since the pandemic. There's little pods of incredible community support,
Mhm.
and just it's amazing to me how big these running groups have gotten overnight. And then the ethnic groups, Latinos and the blacks. I mean, it's so cool. I really love that because they found their group, their
Yep.
jive, and they're getting fit in it. They're getting outside, they're getting away from computers, they're meeting people face to face. It's just really cool. I love that.
Yeah, I talked to Theo from Run It Up and somebody else from Run It Up. And so he started this black and brown community almost a year ago. And it's ridiculous how many people are showing up. I talk about this on the podcast sometimes is literally 200 or 300 people are showing up. And then when you look at their Instagram, they're like on the weekdays, they'll only do 2 or 3 miles, but they're active. They're getting out there running. And then on Saturdays, they might do 3 or 4 miles. But then some
Right.
people are doing the halves and fulls and things like that. They're bringing them along. And I think it's really great that because before that, there wasn't really much
No.
black and brown people running. You'll see some, but not as a community. What I said is, when you think about it, like DRC and all these other running groups, there's full of people that run, but you would maybe see one or two black or brown person
Oh,
in there
exactly. The
because it's
fitness
like,
program.
so it's like he found a niche and I love it too. I was like, I have to have you on. And you came on and it was so interesting and intriguing. And they're doing way more than just the running stuff. They're bringing in doctors and cardiologists and all these things that is pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're doing charity work, and
Yeah.
it's really cool. And you never know who you're gonna meet and connect with, and there you go. I mean, it's
You
the
get
new.
to see a lot of people. Maybe you don't see people in their groups, I guess. You just see people individually that come in to get shoes and stuff. So that's interesting, isn't it? Like, no matter what, you're seeing just that one person or two that come in just to get that. Nobody goes in there as a group to buy shoes. Or do they?
Oh, yeah, we had a Run 214
Yeah.
deals group. They just were at
Run
the
it up.
store last week. We'll have groups come in and do little clinics with them or open the store early and have fittings for them. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. We support DRC. We
Yeah.
support Pegasus. Yeah. So
Yeah. You
we
guys support all of them. I know there's some discounts too sometimes, depending on if you're part of the group. So I always use it.
good. Yeah, after the pandemic, we just decided to forgo the training program that we had because we used to have our training programs and just support the community because that's what Luke's does. So why fight it? Just let's support them and let us work at the store because those Saturday mornings were long and we had to work after that. As far as community, you can't beat Brooks. I mean, they've started a bunch of races. They've supported Turkey Trot, Katy Trail, used to do the Arboretum Run, and in Fort Worth, they're a big component in Cowtown. The family has supported. Actually, Don was one of the instigators or the founding fathers of the Katy Trail way back when it was being formed.
Wow.
He was one of the initiators of that. It's incredible. This family has their tentacles all over the running community in Dallas and Fort Worth and the other stores. We used to have stores in Austin and Houston, but they walk the walk and
Yeah.
they just don't, they just, they're just not, they're involved. It's really cool. And that's why I joined Luke's Locker. It's because of that community support and endorsement.
They're just the folks I've met, including yourself, are just really good people. And it's funny because I remember when, I don't know if it was before the pandemic or whatever, I think Luke's was having a hard time with some stores
Yeah.
and things. I thought, man, that stinks. Luke's is going out of business probably or whatever. But I don't know if it's 4 or 5 years ago, however long, it was not all that long ago that all of a sudden it's come back. Like now I go into the Luke's off Mockingbird. I think that's the one you work at. I mean, there's only 2 or 3 now, right?
It's only Fort Worth and us. We're
Oh, there's 2. Yeah.
the mothership. Yep.
Yeah. So now when you go in there though, like I remember you wouldn't see much stuff there. Now it's like full of stuff. You can't even get it's really great. Every time I go there too, like there's tons of people there. And I think that's a good problem.
Yeah.
I I had to
It's not just your regular running store because it's not just a running store.
Yeah.
You got that vibe when you walk in. I've never been in another store like ours, even any retail store. We're there to help you. We're there to chit chat. People hang out, carry a wide variety of products. And for the first time, people walk in and go, oh my gosh, this place is big. You got a lot of stuff
Yeah.
here. And
You have a great selection. To me, it's
yeah. And the
unbeatable.
vendors all support us. We're one of the few specialty stores that really, and that happened because of Don and Sharon way back when they formed a relationship with Tiger Sports and Blue Ribbon Sports, which was Nike and Asics. And from there, it's just grown and people come to us. Lululemon started with us. Now we have more Viore than I think the Viore store. We have a lot of specialty or boutique-ish type apparel. We carry shoes that nobody else does because these vendors recognize our knowledge and our impact on the community and come to us.
What's the extra? To me, it's the extra. So I love all of that. And I think that's very important for the vibe and for the running community, but also the knowledge that you guys have. The expertise, I think, is one of the most important things you can do because you could try on a shoe at any time and know nothing about it. I can go to, I don't know, some off the wall store or some whatever and not get help at all. Just say, oh, do you want to try the shoe? Yeah. Okay, good. And that's it.
Yeah.
If I tell you that I'm having problems with my Achilles and this thing is happening and whatever. And you're going to ask me more smart questions. And then you're going to say, you need to try this. This shoe probably could really help. Why don't you try it out real quick? And so I guess, like I told Duncan, it's all about the expertise. Certainly all the other stuff you mentioned is key, but the expertise to me is pretty important.
I think what's really cool is Matt and the Lucases realize it's more about listening to the
Yeah.
customer, and then the conversation begins instead of you coming in. Like, people will start the conversation, will you tell me what the best shoe is for me? No, let me figure out what
Yeah.
you are like. Let
Exactly.
me figure out what's been going on in your path or where you're going. So that's the key, is listening to the customer and drawing out those questions and figuring out what the right fit is instead of telling them this is a shoe you need. Don't go anywhere else. Because again, you evolve, you change, you get injuries, you
Yeah.
grow, you age, all that. So it's a long-term relationship that we like to try to develop and listen.
And look, I think shoes change too. Like
Oh, yeah,
one day the Revel 3s and 4s are awesome, and then the 5s are just they're fine, but they're changed. And I'm like, what happened here? Oh, I went to
exactly.
Adidas. I still do the Revels, but the point is like that's why you have to ask those questions because
And it's
you know,
not an exact science. We allow you to try them. And if
yeah,
they don't work, bring them back. Let's try it again.
yeah, that's happened to me once. I was like, I just can't run in these shoes, these particular types of shoes. I got to send them back. I don't want to spend $200 on a pair of shoes and I can't run in them.
Yeah.
I appreciate that about you guys. Is there anything about you that we missed during kind of this conversation? I'm sure we missed a ton that you wished, hey, I wish we would have talked about this thing.
Think I do want to just stress about my running streak. Anybody can do it. And it's not that it's every day, but I just want people to get outside and breathe and move. You just feel so much better. When somebody comes in the store and go, oh, it's cold or it's raining, your skin is waterproof. Just get out there and give yourself 5 minutes. Just get out the door and move. And after 5 minutes, I doubt very seriously you turn around and go back inside.
That's
You'll
right.
just go, all right, 30 minutes. I'm just here. Let's go. And you feel so much better. You feel if you move, and you don't have to go outside, walk in the mall. I want people to move. It's being sedentary is the fastest way to the grave. I tell you, we
100%.
just have to keep moving. And everybody is active now. Everybody is wearing leisure shoes. So walking and running shoes have become very common.
Yep.
We have a ton of them, and we'll navigate those, what this means or what you need. But that's where the store comes in. I love having those conversations, but I don't have to sell you a pair of shoes. If you walk away with nothing, it's okay. But I just want to have people realize how important that time of being by yourself or being with somebody else and movement. Conversations can happen. There's a lot of studies like that. When you're
Yeah.
driving in a car, if you're not facing each other, then conversations start to flow. That's running and walking
Yep.
too.
That's right.
You reveal yourself so much better with your running partners than probably your spouse sometimes, many
Yeah.
times. But just breathe and move. And I can't be in a gym. I
Yeah.
don't like that. That's not my vibe. But even going out to the gym, there's a community in the gym. And I go to the Ys and people are recognize me, and you have your own little community there. Just get out and move. You just feel so much better.
I agree. I think, like I mentioned before, there's 40, 50, 60 running groups out there, and a lot of those have walking groups with them as well.
Oh yeah.
So go out in the community and start
No
just
matter what
show up,
age,
you
you
know,
can be, yeah.
go to your local Luke's and ask about a running group. Is there a running group that you can think of? And I'm sure that you can name one or two of them. Oh, there's Pegasus. Oh, there's DRC or whatever. You know what I mean? To me, there's no excuse to not get out there. And I love that you're doing that streak. I'm sure like,
And then what's really cool is I want to mention the Loop Dallas.
yeah,
Are you familiar with that? We have a big map in our store. The Loop Dallas, this guy is just incredible. He's connecting all these trails
mm,
around, and his loop that he's creating is a 50-mile loop around Dallas and down to Trinity and up and connecting White Rock. And then it'll eventually connect Richardson and Plano and all the way to Fort Worth. And Dallas Fort Worth has an incredible trail system that now you can just get out your front door and walk down it. There's a Santa Fe trail that goes, well, it connects to White Rock Lake, but it'll go down to Fair Park. And it splits down some of the older communities. Once it's there, older people that probably have never exercised get out and just walk or
Yeah.
ride their bike with their kids, or it's just incredible the opportunities that are around this area. And the weather is great
Yeah.
all the
Most of the
time.
time. Gets down 30,
I mean,
40,
it's gonna
whatever,
be
but
hot, it's gonna be cold, but as far as the rest of the country, this is an ideal place to be outside.
agreed. It's funny because summertime this year, a lot of people are like, summer's so hot. I get it is. I don't want to go run necessarily at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon when it's 100
Yeah.
degrees or whatever. But man, I get up at 4:30 and go run starting at 5:30 or 6 or something. And
Okay, you're nuts. No.
it's better than I'm just not an evening person generally. Now I did run those. What's that lake? Bachman Lake. They have these 5Ks that Linda
Right?
and all them put on. And I was like, I don't want to go run half marathons. Why not go do some speed work and do the Bachman Lake free 5Ks? Because it's a race and
Right.
you can just practice like every week for 4 months or 3 months. And I was
Yep.
like, "Oh." So I tried that this summer. It was really awesome. Ken and Linda put that on with some other people.
Mhm. Yeah, that's an old series. That's been going on for
70s, since the
long, long time.
70s. From what I heard, the 70s. Crazy.
Yep. Yep.
The 70s and it's still going. I can't believe it. Oh,
Right. It's wonderful.
it is awesome. Yeah, exactly. It just tells you that running's been going on for a long time. It's not just now there's a boom
Well,
now,
yeah,
but
I think it started with the original Olympics.
so it's been cool. Carrie, it's been really great. I really appreciate you. See, that wasn't all that bad, was it?
No, I think we went all over the place. I don't know,
It's all
but
right.
but
We did. We talked
no,
about,
it was fine for me.
yeah, we talked
But
about your journey and what you did in the past and what you did in the middle and what you're doing now. And we talked about shoes and all that kind of stuff. So that's really sums it up. Carrie, thank you so much for coming on to DFW Running Talk. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to DFW Running Talk. Please subscribe to the newsletter by going to dfwrunningtalk.substack.com. And Carrie, thanks again for coming. Really appreciate it.
you have a lot of cool stories out there. I really appreciate you sharing them with everyone.
And I appreciate
And
folks like
thanks
you
for
coming
inviting.
on. Of course.